What's going on, everyone? It's Thomas DeLauer and my beautiful wife, Amber.
Hello.
And our wonderful baby boy,
Little Tommy.
Little Tommy. So today we're making another keto pizza, but this time it's gonna be plant-based. Now, if you've seen my recent video, you know that I'm addressing the importance of doing a plant-based diet at least one day per week, kind of to give your digestive system a little bit of a reset. So the thing is, most people don't realize that you can follow a ketogenic diet even while being vegan. So we're gonna do this plant-based pizza that's gonna work for not only people that are on a ketogenic diet, but also for people that are on a vegan diet, or even both. So last time I made a cauliflower crust pizza, unfortunately I kind of burned it a little bit. And I tried polishing it off and saying that I just kind of made it crispy. Even though it looks like it's a little bit dark, it's not burnt. But let's face it, I burnt it, and I'm humble enough and man enough to admit that that's what I did. So I brought in the expert this time, who's gonna help me cook.
The expert pizza maker. So, I like that title.
Why don't you start us off with some of the ingredients that we've got,
Sure.
And then I'll break down the science as we go.
All right, so we've just got your basic pizza sauce, your marinara. You wanna go for like the low sugar. I think that's an important point to make. You don't want to have a lot of sugar in your marinara sauce, so you can actually make it from scratch, or there are a lot that you can buy from the store that are low sugar. We've got some asparagus. It's already been pre-cooked and cut up. I just popped it in the oven for like 10 minutes because I had to preheat it anyway for the pizza. We've got some tomatoes just chopped up. We've got nutritional yeast, and I'll let you get to that later. We've got some mushrooms, basil, and we've got the secret ingredient here, which is some almond cream cheese. Now you can use almond ricotta instead, but we opted for the cream cheese this time just because we like the flavor a little bit better, I guess.
Totally. And huge shout out to Cauliflower Crust Pizza, who's provided the crust again for this pizza.
The most important part, I guess. You can't have a pizza without the crust.
if you saw my the video that I did on the Hallmark channel where I was making cauliflower crust pizza, it was a cool video, but you can see there's a lot of work that goes into making cauliflower crust. So
especially like squeezing out all that water and that extra moisture.
So the whole idea is with cauliflower, you're getting pre-made crusts that are super easy. And this particular one is a plant-based cauliflower crust that'll work tremendously for someone that's on a ketogenic diet, but also vegan. Let's get to it. I'll break down the science as you go.
Cool. Okay, so first we've got our marinara, so we're just gonna, what is he doing?
He's just staring at the camera.
He's a ham, he's hamming it up, takes after dad.
He's already good on camera.
And we're just gonna spread this on. You guys know how to make pizza, don't you? Easy. So I don't want to take my sauce all the way to the edge just because I kind of like to have a crust to eat, to hold.
And quite frankly, there's nothing super fancy about marinara. I mean, honestly, it would be a little bit contrived for me to start pulling up a bunch of scientific, awesome facts about marinara. I guess
have tomatoes.
As I say, the simplest thing is super high in lycopene, which is tremendous for your prostate. But quite frankly, I don't want to waste your time talking about the benefits of tomatoes because you and I both know that that's probably just a waste of YouTube space.
All right. So now that we've got our sauce, I mean, I just like to do a thin layer. I don't like to be too heavy because, I think it adds up pretty quickly. So we're just going to throw on some of this nutritional yeast here. And Thomas, I'll let you talk about the crazy good benefits of nutritional yeast.
You can load that stuff up. So the whole thing about nutritional yeast, whether you are vegan or not, this is one of the only complete proteins that you can get as a vegan. So it's really, really difficult to get all the abundant amino acid profiles that you need as a vegan. Believe it or not, super high protein content in nutritional yeast. But the other thing that we have to be cognizant of is when you're in ketosis or when you're on any kind of low carb diet, you're losing a lot of water, okay? I talk about all the time in my videos is when you're in ketosis, you're not holding on to that water because for every 3 gram or 1 gram of carbohydrate you consume, you're holding 3.7 grams of water.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so when those carbohydrates are out of the equation, you're losing water. Well, B vitamins are very water soluble. If you've ever taken a load of B vitamins, you've noticed that your urine is like fluorescent. That's because they're very water soluble and they're coming out in your urine.
It's cool, it's like a science experiment.
With your urine. Fun to talk about while we're cooking, right?
Totally.
So it's good to
Why don't we talk about asparagus while we're at it?
So obviously it's good to be replenishing the B vitamins as much as you possibly can. When I say replenishing, I mean getting them in consistently, especially as a vegan because you can be very deficient in vitamin B12 very, very quickly. And vitamin B12 is critical for building those new red blood cells, which is ultimately going to transfer the oxygen to where it needs to go. Okay.
He's having fun. As you're explaining.
He likes
having fun bopping around.
I've gotten used to just the natural daddy bounce today.
It keeps him calm. All right, so we're just gonna throw on some tomatoes here. I like to use the heirloom tomatoes just because it gives it a little bit of color, which I think is fun.
Nothing fancy to say about tomatoes, except the other cool thing is different variations of tomatoes are going to have different varying levels of vitamin A and beta carotene in it. So you know how you've got the yellow ones in there, a little bit higher in beta carotene. Again, water-soluble vitamins we want to be constantly putting back in the body when we're in ketosis.
I guess that makes sense.
Here's the cool part.
Now we have asparagus.
Have you ever put asparagus on a pizza? I mean, it's kind of weird. People, yeah, when I first started talking about this recipe and people were kind of looking at me like I was crazy. But the thing is, asparagus, first of all, tastes awesome on a pizza. So don't knock it till you try it.
It gets crispy and super yummy, kind of like cheese does.
The asparaginine, which is one of the components of asparagus in the first place, is what's very, very powerful. So that is one of the contributing factors to why your urine usually ends up smelling when you have asparagus.
Back to that urine thing.
Is your kidneys actually have a good level of flushing that's occurring when you're taking in any kind of asparagus. But additionally, a very, very powerful diuretic, which you might be wondering, okay, wait, you're in ketosis, you're already losing water, why would you want a diuretic at this point in time? Well, believe it or not, diuretics actually help the kidneys modulate a little bit more. So when you don't have insulin levels when you're in ketosis, when your insulin levels aren't high, it makes it so that your kidneys don't regulate as well. So they dump a lot of water or they retain water at different times, it throws them out of whack. Having a natural diuretic like asparagus actually helps the kidneys regulate a little bit more. So even though it's a diuretic, it's gonna balance out your mineral levels a little bit better because it's gonna keep you nice and stable. So you notice when I'm in ketosis or when we're in ketosis both, but we're eating tons of asparagus. He's falling asleep.
Yeah, you're boring him.
He's not into science.
No science.
He's like, I just like milk.
So next we have mushrooms. Nothing super fancy about these, they're just regular mushrooms.
Yeah, the thing that I like about mushrooms is the fact that they're super high in vitamin D2. Okay, vitamin D2 is a precursor to vitamin D3. You gotta be a little bit careful when you're taking in copious amounts of vitamin D3 as it can throw off a little bit of your retinol A levels. It can throw off different levels of other vitamins and fat-soluble vitamins in your body. Vitamin D is technically a hormone, so it has a whole different effect on your body than typical vitamins. Vitamin D2 being the precursor. Again, you're getting a nominal amount from mushrooms. It's more so about the taste and getting that abundance in there. So you can skip them if you don't like them, but they are gonna help.
I love mushrooms. All right, so next we have some basil. So this one I'm actually gonna chop up. I'm gonna show you how to cut basil. It's super easy.
While she's chopping up the basil, I don't know if you guys knew this because it's not widespread because most people are usually talking about other herbs, but basil is a very powerful adaptogen. That being said, you have to consume a lot of it in order to get the adaptogenic effects.
So what is an adaptogen?
It balances out your hormones in a very powerful way. So for example, well, right now, it's a good example for you, okay? You just had a baby, your hormones are balancing back out. You probably have high levels of estrogen, whacked out levels of progesterone. It's going to allow those to balance out a little bit better. So that means hormones that are high are gonna go lower, and hormones that are lower are going to go higher. It has a very natural way of balancing you out and helping your body find homeostasis for you as an individual. It works actually with your RNA and your DNA, so it actually works with your genetic type to allow yourself to come back to balance.
Wow.
Basil is very powerful.
So I should be
with
eating
that.
a lot of this then.
You should be, totally. Very similar profile to ashwagandha. If you've ever taken an ashwagandha supplement as an adaptogen, basil's gonna get you, I scared him. Basil's gonna get you a little bit of that same effect. Not quite as powerful, but still pretty darn awesome.
So I'm gonna save just a tiny bit of that basil. I'm not gonna put all of it on there. I will show you why. Okay, so next we have our cream cheese. And what I like to do with this, because it doesn't melt.
Almond cream cheese.
Right, almond cream cheese. Sorry, the technicalities. All right, so since this doesn't melt like regular cheese does, I just like to take a couple of spoons and just kind of spoon it on in little chunks all over.
So the cool thing is you can use almond ricotta or you can use almond cream cheese. They both are gonna do a very similar thing. Almond ricotta is a little bit grittier, a little bit more texture. The cool thing, you hear me talk about almonds all the time and how they have to be sprouted in order to really be super healthy. Well, the thing is almonds contain something called phytic acid, and that phytic acid is very, very hard for your body to break down. It triggers a lot of different responses in the body, but it basically is a protective mechanism so that the nut can pass all the way through the stool. Like when you look at like if a squirrel goes and eats some nuts, well, he's gonna pass it through and then that way the seeds can plant, right? Again, more wonderful
I was just gonna say, this is a great...
But the point is that these are soaked. The whole idea behind almond cream cheese and almond ricotta is it's soaked first, okay? So makes it so technically it is sprouted. So we have an awesome combination here. I mean, given the fact that the crust already has copious amounts of cauliflower, which is super high in what's called diindolylmethane, which is very, very good for estrogen management.
Okay.
Then we have the basil, which is a powerful adaptogen, very good for estrogen management. Whether you are male or female, you are going to get a serious hormonal
You always want
effect
your
out of this.
hormones balanced,
Totally.
no matter what gender you are. And okay, here's the really cool part of this. We're just gonna take that basil, sprinkle it on top. It has to be pretty, right?
Unlike
We're just
my
gonna
burnt
take
one.
this, and we're just gonna go whoosh, just like that.
Whoa, it's like,
Boom, like whoosh. All
did
right.
you get fairy dust on you? All right, so we've taken the liberty of already cooking one ahead of time.
All
So
right,
this
I will
way you
grab
don't have
that.
to sit with us for 10 minutes while we do this.
I mean, we know you love us, but
And
guess what? You burnt it.
no, I didn't. That's good this time. That's how it's supposed to come out. Last time it was flat out burnt. You can put us side by side and you can see that is not burnt. Last time it was flat out burnt.
All right.
Nice. Ah, that looks good.
See if I can do this. Wabba.
Not bad. This is how it's supposed to look. It's supposed to be a little bit dark on this one. It's definitely, this one I promise you guys is not burnt. It's the fact that it has almond meal in it and it has a little bit of cauliflower. It's going to get dark when you cook it. I promise you, that doesn't mean it's burnt. The last one, okay, it was a little crispy. This one, trust me, it's not bad.
All right, so we're just gonna chop it up.
It's really scary seeing you with a sharp object.
Not while you're holding my baby, at least. We'll take this one. Maybe we'll take this one.
Nice.
All right, do you want to try it?
Yes.
I can take the kiddo.
Yes. Science put him to sleep. All right.
Just like it does for me.
It'd be awesome if we could do some crazy kind of CGI effect in post in editing to watch my hormones balance out after I eat this and me just turn into the Hulk. I honestly feel like I'm gonna live forever now.
So how does it taste though? Like, what are you tasting?
Quite frankly, it doesn't taste anything different from having a non-vegan pizza.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And then I like the, get a bite with that cream cheese. 'Cause that's what makes it. The cream
That's so
cheese
good.
combined with the fact that this cauliflower crust, I'm saying cauliflower because that's the brand name, not the fact that I can't say cauliflower, but this cauliflower crust has the right kind of mixture of ingredients in the right ratio so it actually gets super crispy. Like you can actually hear, like when I take a bite, it's actually really good and crispy.
But not burnt.
It's definitely not burnt. When you tried it, it's not burnt.
No, it's not burnt. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you because of last time.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. And that cream cheese, it's a little bit almost more, like it's a smidge more sour than regular cream cheese is. So it doesn't taste like you're just throwing cream cheese on a pizza. You know what I mean?
Totally. And it holds together. It doesn't just melt.
Yeah, it's good.
So the cool thing is now we're going to start bringing content to you that brings a little bit more of our life to the channel. You know, we've gotten the channel big enough, we're doing enough educational content, and now it's also fun to start doing a little bit more stuff that is appropriate with how we live and how we cook in the kitchen. That also goes in line with kind of stuff that I teach on the channel. So I want to make sure that everyone that is here knows that you can check out Cauliflower Crust Pizza in the description below and get a special coupon code so that you can get your cauliflower crust going on. But also, as always, keep it locked in here on the Thomas DeLauer YouTube channel so that you can learn the best ways to fast, the best ways to live a ketogenic lifestyle, anti-inflammatory lifestyle, and what do you know, even some vegan lifestyle too.
For sure.
And Tommy, you want to say the famous last words here? As always, keep it locked in here and let us know if you have ideas for future videos.
You wake him up, I'm going to kick you.
See you soon.
Bye.